Last time on Umineko When They Cry. You know, I do apologize for making the last part of the recording short, but it was long. Look, it was long enough of a segment to end the recording from there. So if anything, there wasn't really anything important. It's just Rosa just explaining her backstory, in which like it's pretty similar to like Kiri's um years of crawling through a tunnel of hell, to where Rosa just gets got put out of her misery, and in which it led to Maria being extremely pissed off. So if anything, but Maria didn't win the fight as well. So if anything, from that part alone, it's basically a two birds in one stone. So what, like Eva getting killed off, Kiri, Rosa, and Maria too. And now we're on to Natsuki. So let's see. Let's see what Natsuki's doing this time. Natsuki could be seen in her personal room. Kraus had told her to go to bed, but she couldn't afford to lie around sleeping on an important day like this. However, she realized that she was the type to get excited easily, and that this sometimes held her husband back. So, though she didn't like it one bit, there was no way around it. It was probably close to the time for the break to end, and the family conference would begin once again in the dining hall. Her husband would have to protect the Ushiromiya family honor from those greedy siblings, all by himself. If she grew emotional by his side, she would just tie him down. Though she knew that quietly waiting here was the best way she could support him, that didn't make the waiting any easier. Natsuki pulled a small treasure box out of a drawer. This was her secret box. Inside was everything from valuable items to mere rubbish. However, they were all precious, memorable treasures in Natsuki's eyes. She pulled a small pouch out of the box. She stuck her hand inside it. It was a kind of charm that her own family had given her when she had married. A spirit mirror to ward off evil. Her own face was reflected in it. Youth doesn't last forever. Recently, she'd seen a bit of her parents and grandparents on her own face. So by staring at her reflection in the mirror like this, she felt as though her soul had returned to the family she'd been born into.
お父様、お母様、夏日が不勉強なばかりに、夫の支えになれません。
Of course, her face in the mirror did not answer. However, Natsuki continued.
夫を愛しているからこそ、私はここで待っています。しかし、愛は寄り添うものと私は思ってしまいます。ここでこうしているのが一番の協力になると理屈では分かっているのに、そんな自分に惨めさを感じてしまうのです。辛いですね。愛ゆえに待つのは。
With a plop, a tear fell onto the mirror. Old dear memories of her life at her parents' house rose up inside her. Now was the time for her to follow her parents' example. When her father came home late, Her mother would always sit up straight, waiting for him, prepared for him to arrive at any moment. Oh, that's strange. Usually, Natsuki usually doesn't mention much about her family. I mean, her own family, that is. Although I do question, her conflicting notions when it comes to Kraus. So she would always wait for him, kneeling in the entrance hall. And no matter how late he came home, she would always wake up all the children and line them up to greet him. At the time, I only thought of her as being exceptionally strict, but at this age, I finally understand how strong she was, preserving in her love for her beloved husband, even after being left in charge of the house while he was out.
その夫への愛ゆえに、見知らぬ赤子を抱かされるのが許されなかったのですね。
Because of your love, Bear, you made to care for an unfamiliar child. Natsuki was like, what? The sudden voice made Natsuki jump up and look about the room. When she did, there was a Western lady wrapped in an extravagant dress.
誰です？
That's a good question. Natsuki was confused. There was no one like this in this mansion. However, though this was her first time seeing this person, it felt as though she had seen her somewhere else. Her mind had gone blank with anger at the ruffian who had snuck into her private room, and confusion over the appearance of someone she didn't know. So it took quite some time before she realized that this was the witch of the portrait. Though you murdered a baby you didn't know on that day, 19 years ago, I will not hold that sin against you.
あなたが19年前のあの日に見知らぬ赤子を殺めたことに、私は罪を問いません。何の話ですか？
Wait, what? Hang on. I'm so lost.
あなたが19年前のあの日に見知らぬ赤子を殺めたことに、私は罪を問いません。
Oh, that's what she was trying to say. I'm assuming she was meant to say this. Though you murder a baby didn't know on that I will not hold that sin against you. I think that's a bit of an error there, because right here I think she meant to say this one in the quotations right there. Beato had chosen Natsuki as her sacrifice. She was Battler's enemy, quote unquote. Beato didn't know much about the details of Battler's birth. However, she knew about the fragments from the previous game and knew there was a chance that Battler was the baby that Natsuki had pushed off a cliff 19 years ago. Battler had used his blue wedge to protect Natsuki from certain false charges. But if you took it as a confession by Battler himself, then, from Beato's position, Natsuki was an enemy, probably forced Battler to live a painful life.
夫への愛ゆえに、夫の血を引かぬ赤子を殺した罪を、私は愛ゆえに問いません。何の話か分かりません。
Oh, you may not know, you may not remember, but I'm pretty sure, the one in the dress probably knows what the fuck you had done in the past. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I already know like Natsuki's backstory from the 5th episode, so it's not like it really mattered, but still.
出て行って。 ここは私の部屋です。ならば私の愛ゆえにあなたを殺すこともまた問わないでください。
Now here's the question. Now here's the thing, right? Is Natsuki, how can Natsuki defend herself? Because if anything, Kiri attempted to defend herself. Maria, you know, attempted to defend Rosa's honor. But I wonder about this one. Beato slowly stuck out her arms and made as if to grab something in empty space. That grab bound itself around Natsuki's neck. Wait. Oh. Chick Beato's gonna choke her out? Natsuki's heels lifted up, and a faint purple shape appeared around her neck. Natsuki frantically scratched at her neck, trying to stop whatever was strangling her, but there was nothing there. So, to an outsider, it just looked as though Natsuki was standing on her toes in anguish, scratching at her own neck.
愛し合う二人たちが皆決意を見せました。私のバトラさんへの思いがそれに劣っているとは思いません。私が19年前のあなたの罪を咎めないように、私も自らのこの罪を咎めません。
As Natsuki twisted in agony, something she had been grasping fell from her grip. Since it had fallen by her feet, Beato dropped her gaze to see what it was. It was Natsuki's spirit mirror. When she peered into it, there was a sound like a burst of electricity. That sound released Natsuki from the invisible hands and made Beato topple backwards like a doll. Wow, really? A fucking cat? Gee, a little something to ward off the evil. Coughing, Natsuki tried to comprehend what was going on around her. Beato rolled over and, dizzy as though she had just bumped her head, she slowly tried to stand up. Her eyes were bewildered, as though even she didn't really understand what had happened.
これは何なんですか？これは意外だ。雲の巣を触っても平気だったそなたが霊境はダメだというのか。
Strange. She can touch the spider webs and then the doorknob and all the other stuff that can burn her, but can't handle stuff like that. Well, that was a bit of a stun lock.
私にも何が何だか分かりません。一体何が。
She had thought that only Beato the Elder possessed non-human weak points, such as getting burned by spider webs and wards and having her power sealed by spirit mirrors. However, for some reason, this spirit mirror alone could apparently affect Beato as well. Even Beato couldn't understand what about the spirit mirror had such an overpowering effect on her. Let's see. Elder Beato. Overpowering effect on her. But Natsuki was different. She instantly realized that the person for the hesitation of this unearthly being, this witch at the portrait, must be the power of the mirror. So, she rapidly crawled across the floor and picked it up. Then, she stuck it out so that Beato could see it. Beato still didn't know what was happening, so, still sitting down, she looked straight at it. And this time, both of them understood the situation completely. Beato realized that the mirror was working some hateful power against her. And Natsuki realized that the spirit mirror had the power to repel witches.
鏡がどうして。
それはお前が横島な魔女だからです。霊言新たかなるこの霊境は邪悪な存在の全てを退けるのです。
それを向けないで。
This is like the priest holding the wooden cross and just like wave it at the one that is deemed to be the demon or something like that. With the spirit mirror still held out, Natsuki cautiously closed the gap between them. She was cautious, so as to prevent the other from suddenly lashing out and stealing the mirror, but she steadily moved to corner this evil.
あなたが何者なのか私には分かりません。分かるのはあなたは私を殺そうとしたこと、そしてこの霊境にひるむ邪悪な存在であるということです。退きなさい、邪悪め。
Yeah, see, and here I thought Chick Beato, I mean, she is the witch, and Beato itself still considered Beato, but her personality portrays of a human, but still gets weak to over a fucking mirror. Beato didn't understand what was happening herself. She didn't know why she had to fear this spirit mirror. However, when she tried to look at the bright light let off by the spirit mirror, it pierced her eyes. Though she didn't understand why she must be afraid, she did understand that she must be afraid. By now, Beato realized that this spirit mirror was both terrifying and harmful. As it came closer to her, she felt an increasingly strong and painful burning sensation over her whole body, as though someone was approaching her with a hot iron. She couldn't even open her eyes because of the mirror's bright, painful glint.
Sa, 元の世界へ退散なさい、横島なる者よ。この後ろ宮夏日、邪悪に対して一歩たりともひるみはしません。
It's no use. Why? Why is this musty mirror so... If I lose here, I'll be the only one to fail this trial. Just like George-san and Shannon-san, and Jessica-san and Cannon-san, I also want Battler-san to acknowledge me and treasure me. And even though I've finally managed to be honest with myself, in a place like this, I alone will be...
諦めちゃうの？あなただけが？
信じるんだ。愛の奇跡は必ず起こる。
Why am I getting the feeling that all Chick Beato had to do is to fucking smack the mirror out of her hand? Like, that's like the only simple solution. I love Battler-san. I want him to notice me. The whole notice me senpai meme. And I want him to acknowledge and accept my feelings. If my reason for calling him father and dedicating myself to him was out of duty towards a parent of mine, I would have been satisfied with no reward. That was a deception I used to fool myself. I love Battler-san, and I want him to acknowledge it. I accept it. I won't turn away any longer. I was born because I love Battler-san, and I want him to love me back.
だからこんなところで負けられないんです。
退散なさい、横島なる者よ。ここにあなたの居場所は存在しません。
Her determination had come too late. If she'd had it from the start, she would probably have managed to finish Natsuki off right then without any fear. Because she had wavered, it had taken time to kill Natsuki, and things had ended up like this. But now, I am resolved. I want to love Battler-san. I want him to love me.
だからここで負けられない。バトラさんのために私は生まれてきたのだから。
そう、それが。
聞きたかった。
Just after a sound like a beetle banging off all the walls filled the room, the spirit mirror was knocked out of Natsuki's outstretched hand. It fell to the floor, and the stake flying around the room pierced through it with a crash.
Gomanのルシファー、ここに。久しぶりの獲物が古ぼけた鏡一枚だなんて、私を愚弄するにも程があるわ。
ルシファーさん。
Really, that's it? You know, I guess my prediction was wrong. I guess the mirror was okay. I guess the mirror was so powerful enough that Beato was weakened. Chick Beato was weakened enough to where like she couldn't have the strength to at least smack the fucking mirror out of her hand. But even then, you know, it doesn't matter.
ベアトリーチェ様、試練の遂行を。逃げられます。
誰か来てください。誰か。
Now that the spirit mirror, her last ray of hope, had been smashed, and the number of strange demons had increased, Natsuki could do nothing but run for it. However, if she made a scene and people gathered, the anti-magic toxin would burn Beato. Now was her last chance.
ありがとう、ルシファーさん。覚悟。後ろ宮ナツヒ。
Well, better not fuck it up this time. Even though Chick Beato's part of her traits is being clumsy, so. Once again, Beato choked the thin air. This time, she wouldn't let her escape. She had to end Natsuki's pain right away before it got too drawn out. But her power wasn't enough. Though Natsuki scratched at her neck, she also struggled to escape from the room. Her shaking hand stretched out to the lock on the door. A closed room is one of the concepts that allows a witch to be a witch. Just unlocking the door strengthened the anti-magic toxin a little. Since Beato was at her limit, even within a closed room, if Natsuki undid that lock, Beato's power would weaken immediately, and Natsuki would surely escape into the hallway. Their strengths were matched. However, Natsuki's began to surpass Beato's slightly. The power of the living to live is fundamentally stronger than the power of magic. That's funny. The strength to live on further. Of course, Beato was mustering all her might. However, Natsuki was just a bit stronger.
十分だ。ルシファー、やれ。
ギャイ。
Wow, well that was pretty sudden. That's... Wait a minute. I wonder who said it. Surely it's not Battler out of nowhere. Lucifer transformed into a stake, and, like the time she had smashed the Natsuki spirit mirror, flew violently around the room. Bread of Life. That's a track I never seen. Pretty interesting. Sounds interesting as well. Then she struck Natsuki's forehead. Natsuki crumpled slowly. When Beato saw this, she also fell to her knees, breathing hard.
ねえ、ゼパル。これってありなの？ベアトリーチェは自分の力だけで試練を成し遂げていないわ。
そうだね、フルフル。確かに試練は誰の助けも借りずに成し遂げなくてはならない。
でもね、ひょっとしたらそれには例外があるんじゃないかしら。
愛する二人は互いで一人だもの。これは手助けじゃない。
バトラさん。
たかだか第一の晩からハラハラさせるな、お前は。
申し訳ございません。追いつけを守らなくて。
追いつけ？
その部屋でおとなしくしていなくて。
Beato hung her head apologetically. When he saw this, Battler scratched his head uncomfortably.
それを言ったら俺も申し訳なかった。言葉を選ばなかった。
いいえ、お父様。いえ、バトラさんは何も悪いことはありません。
いいぜ、好きに呼べばいい。
Battler had always looked at the new Beatrice sternly. However, that was gone from his expression now.
確かにかつてのお前は俺をバトラと呼びつけで呼んでいた。俺は最初お前にそれと同じ呼び方を求めて押し付けていたかもしれない。しかしそんなのに意味はないんだ。お前はベアトだがお前はお前だ。好きに呼べばいい。
バトラさん。
そうだな。その呼び方がいいな。さすがにお父様は俺の趣味じゃねえぜ。
Earlier, she had hesitated just to say Battler's name at all. If Battler had told her to say his name without honorifics, she couldn't have done so right now. And even if she had, that might have hurt Battler even more. However, now she was called to call Battler by his name. You just had to look into her eyes to see how happy this made her.
ゼパルとフルフルに聞いた。
And would you look at that? The two made up.
おかしなゲームが始まっているようだな。
はい。勝手なことをしてすみません。
いや、いい。そういう無軌道で何を始めるかわからないところも実にお前らしい。
Well, at least she tried.
それにまあゲームの趣旨も聞いてる。二人一組で挑むのが正しいことになってるらしいな。
ええ、その通りです、バトラ卿。
もしも見事我らの試練を勝ち残れたなら、
我らはあなたたち二人を祝福し、魔法の奇跡を授けましょう。
こいつらがベアトの黄金蝶のブローチに力を与えてたらしい。だからその効果は保証済みってわけさ。俺とお前の腐れ縁ももう随分になる。たまにはこういう遊びがあってもいいだろうぜ。
バトラさん。
おや、聞いたかい、フルフル。バトラ卿も試練に参加するようだ。
驚くには値しない。だってこれは最初から分かっていたことだもの。ようこそ我らの試練へ、バトラ卿。
ではあなたは誰を生贄に？
That's crazy. What the fuck? We're gonna have what? We're gonna have a Battler, the Game Master, stepping in this time? That's fucking wild.
俺の仕事はすでに終わってる。確認するといい。
かしこまりました、バトラ卿。さあ、フルフル、確認してこよう。
I mean, Battler. I mean, considering that Chick Beato is trying to approve her love for Battler, and Battler, assisted by stepping in, I'm pretty sure it still counts, right?
そうしましょう。
Like it's already set in stone. It's not like Chick Beato is going to be disqualified as is. I mean, look, if Battler didn't really acknowledge Chick Beato at this, Look, if fucking Battler didn't fucking acknowledge Chick Beato's participation or acknowledge her like from the start, then none of this would have happened. So
でもゼバル、これで愛し合う6人はみんな試練を成し遂げてしまったわ。次はどうすればいいかしら。
6人の覚悟は本物だ。さらに次の試練で試すとしよう。
the next trial? Are you shitting me? Oh god, we're going through more of this game. The two noisy demons disappeared. They had apparently left to go check on the sacrifice Battler had killed, and also so that Battler and Beato, who could finally look each other in the eye and talk, could have some time alone.
ここまでの物語はいかがですか？
When suddenly asked this question, Angie immediately came to her senses. Then she realized that she had been immersed in Hachijo's tale. She felt a bit defeated and tried to look displeased.
愛の試練云々で巧みにごまかしてるけど。
That's too much of this.
ちゃっかりと6人が死んで第一の番を構成してるわ。
I mean, let's see. Let's count to 6. We got... We got Eva. We had Kiri. Rosa and Maria. And then Natsuki. Wait a minute. That's as far as I think of. It was 5. Okay, then who's the 6th person, though? That's the question.
うまいものね。
What? Hang on. I'm confused. Like I'm so lost. Da 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 da. Doo doo. The... Yeah, that was. Where's the 6th? That's not finished up for the first Twilight. I can't believe they make up a love trial as a way to like pick the 6 people who have this, you know, unethical sin or something like that, or I don't know.
ありゃ、本当だ。こいつは気づかなかった。
Amakusa clapped his hands as though he'd been outsmarted. Even though he figured it out before me, he played the fool. That's fucking funny. He's gonna pretend that he got fooled. No, are you telling me this? So you're telling me this love trial part is just filler, but you know, it's a way to sacrifice the first 6. So.
愛し合う恋人たちの数がたまたま6人だっただけのこと。それが第一の番とうまく合致したのは偶然半分、様式美半分。その方が運命的で面白い。人間は無意味な2つの事象を無理やり関連づけようとする悪癖がある。それを運命的と読み解かせるのが読み物の騙しでしょ。
お嬢はディスティニーとかミラクルとかそういうのに冷たいタイプらしいですな。
UFO と同じよ。誰もが知ってるけど 誰も見たことないものだわ。
Oh wow. I see that Angie is have been I see that Angie has been really caught up with this you know, her opinions. I see she's already caught up to where she can make her own opinions about, conspiracy theories.
そいつはクールな例えだ。
と、いつもの私なら、愛だの幻想だのは、ミステリーには不要な、無駄なシーンねとばっさり行きたいところだけど。
Yes, everything about this whole love trial stuff is, just entertainment at this point. Angie tries to skip over all the love and illusions, call them unnecessary, useless scenes. Oh, hey, I believe Angie can fit in with Erica at this point.
それはおこのぎさんに否定されたわ。そういう愛のない見方だけでは真実に迫れないってね。
Well, without love, the truth could not be ever reached.
はあ、おこのぎの旦那の殺し文句ですかい？
I mean, Okanogi is a pretty sus person, but I guess he has a good point.
愛がなければ見えない。
Without love, anything could not be seen, even the truth.
それそれ。人の家族を物語の中で勝手に殺すことに対する怒りは置いておいて、あえてこの物語を書いた八条先生に敬意を表して言うなら、その描写には意味があることになる。何しろこれだけの文章量を割いて散々愛だの試練だの語ってる。つまりこれがこの物語のテーマでありキーワードだってことになるわ。
おや、赤インク以外で書いた文字は全て読むに値しないとまで言い切る御人も多いというのに、光栄なるかな人の子よ。黒い文字も読んでくれて。
物語は書き手が何かを伝えるために書くものよ。そしてそれはどういうわけか、直接書いたら仏水という奥ゆかしい面倒な作法がある。愛がなければ真実に至れない云々という描写はこれまでの作品にも品質するわ。それがこの新作ではさらに顕著。書き手が一番伝えたくて考えてほしいのはそれってことになるわ。
When you think about it, there have been many scenes about love ever since Beato first appeared. Even the first time she appeared before Shannon, she spoke clearly about how love was the single element of the world, and the golden butterfly brooch she had given was also an item for love. She had said that she enjoyed sowing seeds of love and watching complications arise, and when Shannon stopped borrowing her power, the reason for her argument was also love. After her interactions with Battler started up in full, scenes about love were toned down for a while, but the without love it cannot be seen definition of magic has been mentioned repeatedly. Then, in the tale right before this one, when Beato became like a doll, several scenes made it seem almost as though Battler and Beato had accepted each other as rivals, or possibly something more. In the end, Battler had regained some memory, and his impression of Beato had undergone a complete change. Yeah. It seems like it for the 5th episode, so I mean, it seemed like a battler was trying to, reach a goal to where, he can uh resume the fight with the Beato, but as soon as he saw the truth, it seems like, things changed, I guess. His opinion changed for the most part. Undergone a complete change. And then in this game, from the beginning until now, the word love has been repeated over and over again.
あなたが書いた物語は愛が何度も繰り返される。でもそれはマリアお姉ちゃんの主張でもベアトリーチェの主張でもない。八条東也の主張だわ。
そうです。それこそが私が語りたいこと。そして私なりの答えなのです。
答え？じゃあつまり12年前の事件は全ておかしな悪魔の愛の試練で引き起こされたと？
バカバカしい。私はあんたの恋愛小説を読みにここまで来たんじゃないわ。私が知りたいのはあんたが至ったと自称する真実よ。
愚かなるかな人の子よ。これだけ文章を割いてまだ伝わらないというのですか。
With an obviously condescending gaze, Hachijo shrugged. It was clear that she was trying to provoke Angie. She was probably hinting that Angie should just go home if she was annoyed. If you're going to read my noble work and not even attempt to see whether you understand it, then get out. Normally, Angie would already have thrown a fit and left. However, she couldn't do that, though she didn't like someone else toying with her family's fates in the story. She was growing increasingly certain of something else as she read through it. Just as Hachijo's follower said, this tale really does have the same presence, the same scent, as the tales written by Beato Ricci. The author was certainly different. However, because it reached to the real truth, it had the same scent. Angie was beginning to acknowledge this. Hachijo Toya was one who had reached Beato Ricci's truth. An endless witch, quote unquote, like Beato Ricci, who could add to the endlessly stretching parallel worlds of the catwalks.
ベアトリーチェの真実にたどり着いたものならば、私でなくとも新たな物語を紡げるでしょう。
Yeah, it doesn't even. I mean, people say love is like meaningless within a novel, but if one has found the real actual truth to it, then maybe one right here can overwrite the truth from the previous ones and make it so like it revolves with some sense of accuracy. Let's see here. Well, if it has the same presence, then
今回の原稿をもってきっと私以外にも真実に至るものが必ず現れる。そのものもまた新たな物語を紡ぐ資格を得るのです。
どんどん無限の魔女が増えていくわ。
そう。そして何人もの無限の魔女たちがベアトリーチェの猫箱の物語を増やしていく。増えれば増えるほどまた新たに真実に至るものが現れる。そうすることで一番最初の無限の魔女ベアトリーチェがあれだけの枚数の手紙に物語を記してボトルに詰めて海に投じた労力が初めて報われるのです。
No words.
あなたは私に怒りの言葉をぶつけ席を立つこともできた。しかしそれをしませんでした。なぜ？
But I thought she, showed her sense of frustration.
悔しいけれど、あんたの物語の中に何かの真相、もしくはヒントがあることを認めつつあるからよ。
I already have my own ideas. However, that's no more than looking with a single eye. Unless I accept a different viewpoint from my own and look at things from more than one angle, I'll never be able to see the truth in 3 dimensions. That's my interpretation of without love cannot be seen.
それでよい、人の子よ。後ろ宮家の最後の生き残りであるあなたが真実に至り、無限の魔女になることを運命も待ち望んでいるでしょう。私という存在などあなたという真の継承者を覚醒させるためのただの道しるべに過ぎないのだから。エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ。
Sometimes I don't understand what she's saying. I don't know either. However, she knows something. And maybe she actually has reached the truth, as she claims. In other words, I didn't learn the truth even after reading the 2 message bottles Beatrice left behind. And I'm now reading tale after tale, filled with hints.
これはヒントという名の挑戦であり、挑発なわけだわ。
いかにも。
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the more tales it adds, from new and new others that step up, you know, we're given more hints, and maybe we can actually find more answers to it. I mean, I do love, all this sort of that's the thing, right? Like the longer you read into Umineko, the more you kind of understand a bit of a hints and philosophy to it.
上等じゃない。あんたがたどり着いたという真実を私も掴み取ってやるわ。やはり私はここに訪れるべきだったんだわ。
Well, that's the spirit. And I mean, Angie may be jaded, but when it comes to trying to find the truth, there you are. Like, that's.
その通り。未だ至れぬから私が招いたのです。人の子よ。
Let the truth I see, quote unquote, and the truth you see overlap. Just as you see things with a single eye, so do I. Now that I've found you, I can finally see the truth with both eyes.
Yo うやく第一の番が起こりましたね。つくづく眠い展開でした。
片目に目やにがついてるぜ。
どこに？ いい加減なこと言わないでください。
お望み通り始めるぜ。まずは第一の番だ。
Oh, I thought it just ended just like that. Well, that was a bit of an interesting start here. Not really interesting start, but a way to fulfill the first Twilight. Sunday, October 5th, 1986. Oh wait, hang on. I didn't even get the chance to read this. God damn it. Sunday, October 5th, 1986. It is 1:11 a.m. Visiting the crime scenes. So we are on a chapter 12. But, you know, unfortunately, this is a good time to end it here. You know, aside of, you know, Chick Beato doing her best to complete her own love trial, which is like whatever, but if anything, yeah, I think I kind of know how it goes. The love trial was set up to be picked for the first 6 to be killed off as part of sacrifices. But if anything, like, excuse me, that's what man, that's the thing, right? The first the first Twilight for it, this sounds so obvious, but I still, if anything, I do want to go back and reread on how the first Twilight has been made for the first to the 5th episode. So it's like, you know, oh, you know, we have the one episode, you know, where most of the servants gets killed off, and you know, yada yada yada. But I question the motive behind it. So there's that. You know, and maybe there's more beyond that later on. Who knows? Or maybe I have to solve it myself. But anyway, with that said, next part, let's see what Erica is doing while sleeping. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Take care, everyone.